We're going to talk about one of America's most chilling and honestly most baffling unsolved mysteries. It's a story that starts with something totally normal, a basketball game, and ends in a way that just defies all logic.
Okay, so picture this. It's February 24th, 1978. You've got five buddies just buzzing after watching their local team pull off a big win. They're all excited, probably laughing, thinking about their own championship game the very next day.
The plan was simple, right? Just drive home to Yuba City. They were the stars of their own basketball team. They had this huge game to get ready for. All they had to do was get home, get some sleep.
But they never made it. That night, something happened. These five men just vanished. They drove off the map and straight into a mystery that, to this day, nobody can explain.
So how in the world does a fun night out turn into something so terrifying? To even begin to understand what might have happened, we need to know who these guys were, and we need to walk through their very last, very strange steps.
So let's meet them. Gary, Jack, Bill, Ted, and Jackie. People called them the Yuba County Five. They were more than just friends. They were like brothers, completely bonded over their love of sports. Now, some of the men had some mild intellectual disabilities or mental health struggles, but they were deeply loved by their families and were a huge part of their community.
Okay, so here's what we know about their last hours. After the game, around 10 o'clock, they stopped at a convenience store. The clerk said they seemed totally normal, happy, just buying a bunch of snacks. But then, something weird happens. Instead of heading south to go home, their car turns east up a winding remote mountain road straight into the Plumas National Forest. A decision that makes absolutely no sense.
As you can imagine, when they didn't come home, their families started to panic. Hours turned into days, the search was on. Then, 4 days after they vanished, a forest ranger finds the very first clue, and it's a chilling one.
Deep in the forest, he finds their car, a 1969 Mercury Montego, just parked on a snowy, deserted logging road, a full 60 miles off their route. The first big question right then and there was why? Why was their car all the way out here?
And this is where the story goes from strange to completely bizarre. The car was totally fine. It wasn't crashed, it wasn't stuck in the snow, it had plenty of gas in the tank. When police got there, they put the key in and it started right up. So why on earth would you abandon a perfectly good car, your only source of shelter, in the middle of a freezing forest?
And get this, they didn't just leave the car. They walked out into a brutal winter night. The temperature was well below freezing, and they left their jackets behind. They walked into the dark, into the snow, with basically nothing to protect them from the cold. So, the winter was too harsh for a full search. Months go by, the snow finally starts to melt, and search teams head back out. And what they find next is just unbelievable. They didn't look for shelter, they went on a journey.
They found tracks leading from the car for 20 miles. 20 miles deeper into the mountains. I mean, can you even wrap your head around that? Walking through deep snow, in the dark, in thin clothes and dress shoes.
And this is the question at the heart of it all. They had shelter. The car could have saved them. So why leave it? Why walk into a blizzard? It just doesn't add up. Were they just lost? Or were they running from something?
So like I said, that initial search had to be called off because of the awful weather. For months, there was nothing, just agonizing silence for the families. And then, in June of 1978, a discovery is made that takes this whole mystery to an even darker, more confusing place.
A couple of guys on motorcycles are exploring some trails way out in the woods, and they stumble upon this empty Forest Service trailer. They look through a broken window, and inside, they see a body. It was Ted Waher, and he was tucked into a bed covered by 8 layers of sheets.
Now, what they found in that trailer is maybe the most frustrating part of this whole story. It was basically a survivalist dream. There was enough canned food to last a person for a year. There were blankets, a heater, matches to make a fire. Ted Weir had everything he needed to survive, but he didn't use any of it. He starved to death, surrounded by food. Why?
And when the forensics came back, the story just got even more heartbreaking. Ted had been alive in that trailer for somewhere between 8 and 13 weeks. He'd lost almost 100 pounds. He died from starvation and hypothermia, with salvation just an arm's reach away. What could possibly make someone do that?
So, finding Ted just opened up this huge can of worms, right? A massive search for the other 4 men kicks into high gear.
And what they found just added more layers of confusion and heartbreak. Over the next few days, they found the bodies of Bill Sterling, Jack Madruga, and Jackie Hewitt. They were scattered over miles of rough terrain between the car and the trailer. It looked like they had been running, maybe in a panic. Some of them didn't even have their shoes on.
But there was still one person missing, Gary Mathias. Now, Gary had a history of schizophrenia, but his family said he knew his way around the outdoors. His shoes were found inside the trailer, which means he was probably there with Ted. But Gary himself, he was just gone, vanished without a trace.
And then there's this one really strange witness account. A guy named Joseph Shones said he was stuck in the snow out there that same night. And he swears he saw a group of people, even a woman with a baby, walking with this bright light behind them, where there wasn't a road. Was he just seeing things? Or did he actually see something?
So let's just recap the absurdity here. You've got a perfectly good car, left for no reason. A 20-mile hike into a blizzard, a man who starves to death in a trailer full of food, and another man who just disappears into thin air. Officially, there's no crime, no motive, no suspect, and no logical explanation for any of it.
For more than 4 decades, this one question just hangs over everything. Their actions make it seem like they were terrified, running from something so awful that they chose to face the deadly cold instead. So we're all left asking the